What is going on, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. We started on time today. No, I haven't been doing that lately, as Jeff Janak would tell me. He's always getting on me for not starting on time. But we did it on time, y'all. We did it on time today. AV is good. Hey, Ambi, how are you? Hey, Rouster, Lo-Fi Holt. I thought I saw Obi Rose earlier today. I know Crazy Louie was in chat earlier. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, geez. How's it going, everyone? Um, so we're going to be talking a little bit of gaming news. I know there's been some requests for certain interviews. I am working on it. Let me say it like that. I am definitely working on it, and I'll let you know when y'all will know when I know. I'll say it like that. Um, so yeah, hey Wit, what's going on? Special leak day. Yeah, it is a leak day. Oh my god, something's going on with my lip. It's all good. Obi, I've been meaning to ask, like, when are you streaming? Because I don't get the notifications. So yeah. But y'all, I before we start, I wanna play a video really quick because I think what we would call this is foreshadowing. So if you see the title, and you were here last week, I just wanna remind everybody who wasn't here. I just wanna play something really quick for y'all, and we're gonna jump into it. All right, just gonna play something really quick. Here we go. Less bringing in more money. And so Sony, and this has been said before, at least in their gaming division, Sony has what they call a cost problem, right? It's costing them too much to make games. It's the cost of sales is too much, whether that's on the production, whether that's on the publishing, the advertising, what have you. It's costing them too much. How do I think they're going to deal with this? Well, I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but the biggest expenditure and cost is human capital. I totally expect Sony to lay off staff more so than they already have. Wow, yo. So that was last week. If you were not here, we did the differences in the gaming companies, and as I said last week, Sony has a cost issue, and I thought that they were going to lay off staff, and then what do you know? This week, unfortunately, I believe the number was 900 staff were laid off at Sony. I think what was really interesting was where those people were laid off. And it was mostly in their VR division. A couple of other divisions as well, but VR took the brunt of it. And so with that said, I actually predict going forward. I actually also think that Facebook will probably, or Meta will probably, you'll probably hear some layoffs there as well. I mean, Meta cut a lot, so maybe they've already done it, but yeah, it's never fun to hear about layoffs, especially in the gaming community. But yeah, that's where it's at. I think for Sony, what's particular is that there isn't really a lot of cuts going on in their studios. So they're like first party studios. This was again against VR, and we can talk about that here in a second. Yeah, Rabolica, everybody has layoffs, and welcome to the chat, Rabolica. And so it just isn't. Yeah, VR. I think to me that's what I took out of it. More so than anything is that similar to cloud, right? And I hate to say, y'all know I'm a Stadian through and through, but similar to cloud, VR has not taken off. I predict a couple of studios will probably also lay off on the VR side. For it just the market isn't growing, right? And when I talk about market, I don't think like advertising. Market is like the potential customers, the landscape, right? Like the potential pot of money that's available, right? It's just not growing, or it's just not growing at the rate that is sustainable to launch a business. So unfortunately, that is Sony. And the question, has the console war shifted? And I think I've said this before. I think that was a little bit of a, what's the word? Clickbait of a title. I asked ChatGPT or Gemini for that, actually. So you can credit them with the title. But no, I don't. I actually think, and I've said this many times, but repetition doesn't spoil the prayer. I don't actually think there is a console war, right? I think they have totally different objectives, Sony and Microsoft. And I don't think anything particularly changes, right? I think Sony has an ecosystem of hardware. Microsoft has an ecosystem of software and services. And yeah, and everything is to drive those two ecosystems differently. I know Rouser and Ninja VR, Ninja X, Ninja Stadium, Ninja everything. More than my PS. Yeah, Holtz, it is. It is. Sad to say that, but I think the market is saturated with games, and it's the market to that point, like the gaming industry in general, just like the tech industry, right? Some people would say they overhired. I just think the growth that people were thinking was going to be sustainable just isn't sustainable. Not only that, but I think certain parts of gaming, particularly, are just not growing. They're just not where gamers are at. Unfortunately. If y'all remember last week, we talked about Sony and their costs. I think they are going to restructure some more costs going forward. Putting, maybe you'll hear about layoffs, but maybe half of those people will be rehired back into a different part of the company. I think you're going to see a lot of that type of stuff going. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Joe, I want to interview you again, Joe, on your gaming, because I know y'all, if y'all did not know, Joe is a game developer from our very own community. Welcome, Joe. Sony cost problems. You're gonna probably see a little bit more. Sony has a huge win today, though. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So congrats to everybody who's enjoying that game right now. It's definitely 92 Metacritic score. That's crazy. So congrats on that. We're gonna actually be talking about some games here that I'm really looking forward to. Some exciting stuff on the horizon. One, I don't think anybody's really been talking about. One, I've talked about a lot, and it's actually a really big day tomorrow. We'll get to that in a second. But again, talking about predictions, obviously, I told you I think VR is going to continue to take a hit. The other thing I think is going to happen, as I told you, Xbox has a revenue problem, and I do expect, so don't get shocked. Console war, people are going to console war, but I do expect Microsoft to raise the price of Game Pass sometime over the next 12 months, and also to kind of continue to implement more ways to monetize within their games. So look forward to that. Well, let me say Xbox, not really, but those studios are going to definitely be under pressure to monetize more. So yeah. Oh, well, Holt hated it this morning, but it's fixed until I get a patch. Nice, Holt. I think you're going to see a lot more indie games as the AAA community shrinks. Yes, Joe, that's actually a really good point of something I wanted to talk about as well. Toys for Bob, game developing studio, under Activision, went indie today. Right. And I think I say went indie. I think that's a PR spin. Basically, Toys for Bob laid off half their staff about a month ago after the big 1,900 people layoff that Xbox did there about a month ago. And I think in order to salvage the company, the founders asked if they could go indie, and that's going to require them to raise their own capital. It's going to require them to be a business again. But I always have said this. I think indie, like my favorite games, as y'all know, are indie games. We're gonna be talking about two of them today. I'm gonna be talking about those, so I hope y'all get excited as much as I'm excited about it. Big fan of Toys for Bob. Love Crash. Yes, so big fan of that. Not only that, there was also some other news, right? Embracer Group. Yes, that Embracer Group. Heard two of their studios, right? We're going indie, and that is Gearbox and oh my goodness, y'all, I'm gonna forget the other one. Gearbox is definitely one of them. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the other one. But that also similar situation, right? You have an option. You either are going to fire your whole studio, or if you are the GM of that studio, the founder, you're going to try to see if you can salvage it. And so Gearbox going on the open market again, going indie for now. I think that's a solid move. I mean, especially now, a lot of game developers out there who have, for no, talented, I'm talking talented game developers, are out on the market right now. And so I'm really looking forward to, over the next few years, seeing some of these games, some of them that are in development now, really get that special treatment to it. Yep, big news pulling away from Microsoft Activision. Yep, Joe. That is exactly it. I actually think this is going to happen more to a lot of Microsoft studios, for no other reason than, again, I don't think Microsoft is necessarily, this isn't a hit to them, right? Like, I think Microsoft wants steady revenues, and they're not trying to go for the grand slam. Like, I think Sony has to hit winners. Like, Sony has to hit home runs. They don't always have to, but they majorly have to hit home runs because their business is selling hardware. They do have a lot of stuff coming from the software side, but it is really about selling hardware. Microsoft's about, they just need that consistent revenue stream that just continually goes, that they can monetize further, cut costs, improve profit margins. That's what they're looking for. And so if you do not have the titles within your studio, you might find yourself on that going indie too. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. Bethesda will probably go indie eventually. I'm not saying Activision. I think Activision fits in their strategy. I don't see how Bethesda does, but we'll have to see how Elder Scrolls does. But with that said, any Metroidvania games for Xbox? Oh my goodness. Well, we are going to talk about one. Y'all know I am a huge fan, so to get y'all excited and get excited about tomorrow, March 1st, I've been actually looking forward to March 1st for about a month and a half now. I want to show y'all a trailer. I showed this trailer at least once before on this channel. I want to show it again because it is something I am super excited about. So without further ado, let's get it. And then I'm going to talk about the game. They've been releasing a lot of stuff for it, and I'm going to tell you why I'm super excited about this. All right, here we go.
My sister fair, she sings like morning. My sister true, she laughs like noon. My sister grace, she drowned this evening, but still visits by the light of the moon. For summer, we prayed for fall, to prosper, to love, to forgive, and our prayers came back like a little lost lamb, dying so that we may live. but not quite the same.
Yo, that is No Rest for the Wicked coming in from Moon Studios. All right, so y'all know, so there's a lot of stuff that's been coming up, building up to this Friday. As you saw, they're going to do a deep dive tomorrow. So how exciting is that? It's right there tomorrow about the game. So IGN has actually done a series of different interviews with the developers and the founders of Moon Studios to talk about this game, but not only talk about this game, but talk about the journey of Moon Studios. So you all know I'm a huge fan of Ori, whether it's The Blind Forest or Will of the Wisp. And for this game particularly, or for the studio, when they made Ori and the Blind Forest, which is crazy, right? It came out like 19 years ago, but when they made the game, that team was only like 15 to 20 people who made Ori in the Blind Forest. Beautiful game. Okay. So after the end of Ori and the Blind Forest, they then made definitely yes, exactly, Rouster. Amazing game. After they made that, they actually started making this game. Fans were crying for they wanted a sequel to Ori. So what did they do? They gave us the tearjerker of a sequel, which is Ori and Will of the Wisp. And at that time, Moon Studios was roughly 40 to 50 people, so pretty small. And if you consider how well the Ori game sold, huge accomplishment, right? So with that though, Moon Studios, the way they think about it is they thought hey, Ori's this Metrovania platformer, so they thought of it in their minds as Mario, right? They thought Mario's fun, it's cool, it's super fun. It got them on the map, got Nintendo on the map. So they thought of Ori as Mario. They're thinking of No Rest for the Wicked as if it's their Zelda, right? So they're looking at it as taking a little bit leap, being a little bit more thoughtful about the world they're creating, the story they're telling, the combat, the mechanics about it. So I am really cheering the studio on. Not only that though, but y'all know what kind of games I like, right? I like artsy games. I like games that get you in a pretty good flow state where you can just play. By the way, Rouster, you were right. Prince of Persia, amazing game, y'all. For me, I like that type of game where you just can kind of go with it. And so with going back to the conversation with Moon Studios and what they're doing here with No Rest for the Wicked, and you can go on IGN and go look at I'll probably link some of the videos down below. They've been telling the story. One of the cool things that Moon Studios talked about, and I love it because it's such an indie thing to talk about, is the art style, right? So if you watch a Moon Studios game, you know it has a particular art style, right? They put a lot of care on that. And so in a time right now that a lot of games are kind of going towards photorealism, earth physics, right? Things fall and move at the same, at actual physics, the game engines have physics. Moon Studios is actually not going that route, and they have a good reason why. What they said is hey, when you start to always go towards photorealism, you always start going towards ray tracing or physics. They're if all games are going to go that route, then all games are going to start looking the same, which I think we can already say some games look the same, right? But they said they want their game to feel like a painting, to feel like you're actually in a painting and playing. And if y'all have played Ori, whether it's the music, whether it's the background, the game, it feels like that. It has this freedom of movement. You could pick up Ori right now and it's going to feel really cool. So what their whole mantra, and they had their creative director talking about this, is they said, if you think about it, there's some paintings from 400 to 500 years ago, and you're still marvel at it. You still marvel and say, whoa, that's an amazing painting, right? Same thing with games. They want their games to always have that fresh, cool feel to it, like that, wow, this is super cool. So they're kind of like moving away from this idea of where all games are going and what we'd say are like AAA games. As they have these amazing graphics, they're kind of sticking to this formula of still being somewhat fantastical. And I think it even tells, or it shows. So if I mention Ori and the Blind Forest coming out 10 years ago for a specific reason, right? Because I just jumped into Ori over the last few years. So I guess year 8 and 9 for Ori, even year 10, because I was just playing Ori earlier this year. And it still plays amazing. But you want to know what else came out about 19 years ago? It was a phenomenal game, but if you play it right now, it kind of shows its age. It's an amazing game. Andy, if you're in chat, I know you love this game. But Witcher 3, right? Witcher 3 is a perfect example of a game that was phenomenal when it came out, but it shows its age. It hasn't aged well. So I think that is something to talk about or to mention about how certain games, like you don't have to go the trend with games. So I'm glad we have actually a game developer in chat, Joe. Love, what you're doing there. If y'all have not seen it, Joe's kind of done some concept art, what this game's gonna look like. But I think that's super cool. And it's a super like indie thing, a nod to creatives, which y'all know I am a huge fan. And it's why I'm cheering for them. It's why I'm looking super forward to tomorrow, March 1st. Again, Moon Studios is going to be doing a deep dive of No Rest for the Wicked. If we're lucky, they may do like a stealth drop of a demo of the game. So this is another really cool thing that they're going to be doing. They're going to do an early access of the game. So for y'all who may know or may not know, just a refresher, early access is kind of what Larian did with Baldur's Gate 3 on Stadia. Means we can play the game. It's not going to be in its full state, but it's going to be in a playable state for us to get kind of a feeling of the game. I'm hoping that's what they're going to do. They've already said that they are going to do early access. I'm hoping that tomorrow they open up the early access, but for sure we should get some more information. I'm super excited, if you can't tell, for this. And yeah, so this is I think Silent Cypher was talking about AA and AAA games. Here's a great example of a game that's probably not going to have all the flash and everything of a lot of big games, but if you're into stories, you're into art, you like to get lost in games like I do, this is definitely one to keep your eyes on. Definitely a studio to cheer for, just because they're keeping games fun, right? They're keeping it into that fantastical place, that place that we can't go. Like, I don't know why people want photorealism in games, because the world is pretty like crazy as it is. So I like to kind of escape that. Yeah, I know it would be super, super. Hey, Severin, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. All right, y'all. But so that was the first game I was going to talk about. If you can follow me, I said I was going to talk 2 games. I promise I'm going to drop a link in chat if y'all want to hop on. But here's the second game. Not a lot of people have been talking about this, but I just want to put this out there. A lot of people have been bringing in Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice into like the console wars. But it's so funny because when Hellblade came out, there really weren't a lot of people talking about it, right? It kind of just flew under the radar unless you were like just really following it. I told you all it came across my desk, or cut my desk. Let me not say something that I shouldn't say. It came across my attention because it was dealing with mental health and it had a female protagonist, both of which, even to today, is kind of an anomaly. But definitely when it was in concept 10 years ago, that's when I first started seeing it. Well, there is another game, and I'm not talking about Hellblade 2, right? There is another game coming out that is giving me that same vibe. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're a small studio. This is kind of interesting what you're doing, because let's be honest, everybody's kind of done Vikings. No shade to Hellblade, but it is what it is. Like, I've seen a lot of Viking stuff, but this setting, we're going to talk about it here in a second, because I think more people should be talking about this and getting excited because it is kind of creepy. So if you're a fan of that type of genre, you're a fan of just like what's going on, something new, this is new. So without further ado, here's my second trailer for today.
It's hard to imagine a place more distant from adventure than a convent. The heroine of this story, if it were up to her, would have preferred to stay within its walls. However, destiny had something different in store for her. Open it. Open it. How did that happen? First, you got pushed out of your house, and then out of the monastery. And if, by chance, you were to kill someone and go to jail, sooner or later you'd get pushed out of there as well. So where now? So many options.
Yeah, so that's Indica. How, I don't know. I thought it was cool. You can actually go download the demo right now on PC if you want to go play it. It definitely has a psychological spin to it. Definitely has some of that mental stuff that goes on in Hellblade in it. But what I love about it the most, and Miss Phoenix, what's going on? Well, this kid just got changed. I know, Miss Phoenix. I actually want to interview you. Let me know how I can get in touch with you. We can set it up. Shh. Don't tell anybody. We'll make it a surprise. But yeah, I love what people can do with interesting source material. So when was the last game you saw was about like a Russian nun? Like, I think it's like, how creepy could it get? Also, this studio was a Russian studio that after the invasion of Ukraine picked up and moved to Poland, right? So they've had to, obviously you want to cheer for a team like that really was just trying to survive, trying to make a game, and then this war broke out. So I'm really excited about it for that reason. But yeah, it's kind of has a trippy psychological horror. Obviously, psychological horror is not my favorite genre when it comes to horror, but I just, again, like what some companies are able to do. Don't get me wrong, I think like the Catholic Church would probably like say this is heresy, but definitely it looks like something really cool, for some reason, I went to private school growing up, so I think it's really cool when game developers take liberty with dogma, really, especially as it pertains to the church. And yeah, so this fits that, right? So I like Darksiders, I like this one, but no one's really talking about this. But if in the game dev community, this game has a lot of people excited and hyped just because they're kind of playing with a different storyline. They're playing with a couple of different game mechanics. And yeah, I don't know, puzzle, psychological horror type of game. So if that's your thing, what's up, Silent Cyber? I just mentioned you earlier. I just mentioned two games that aren't AAA, but people are super excited about. So yeah, if that's your thing, those are the two games. So if you're just joining, I dropped the trailer earlier of No Rest for the Wicked. Look for tomorrow, March 1st. They're going to be doing a deep dive of that game. Throughout this week, they've been doing deep dives of it, are talking to the devs, talking about the art style, the combat, the journey of the studio, to get excited for tomorrow. And I just did Indicta, which again, studios went through a lot of stuff, but the game dev community is really excited about this one. I really expect this to probably be nominated for Indie of the Year. I'm not gonna lie, it has that many people excited for it. So that's what I have. Just signed the contract too. What's going on? Whoa. Bro, I'm being put on a new gaming project myself. Nice, Severin. Congrats. We got 2 game devs. We got Severin in the house and Joe. I only play cozy games, Vet. Vet doesn't only play cozy games, Miss Phoenix. The camera stuff is super interesting, right, Joe? I know, it's super cool. So why don't you see an anime? Let's see. I see that, and then has the Commodore shift? Has the bottom dropped out? Is the dude? I know SPG. It hasn't shifted. As I told you, I don't think there is a war. I think, or if there is a war, it's you have 2 armies going. Maybe that's how I should describe the console wars. The console wars has 2 different armies going in 2 different directions, right? Like I said, I think one is always going to try to strive to hit that knockout of the park type of game, as I mentioned earlier, and one is going to go for the consistent revenue stream. The thing about it is both of them can fail and both of them can succeed. I think they're kind of independent of each other. That's what I say on that. But thanks for looking at the title. Again, AI created the title. I just told it what I kind of wanted to put in there. But here, devs are part of a team that make games specifically. I am a contractor. Severin, you're semantics. Semantics, Severin. You're close enough. Stay away from Vet on social media. He sends some weird stuff. Yep, that is Vet. I cannot wait until Severin makes millions from his gaming project and treats me to pizza in Illinois. You're going really well until you said Illinois pizza. Doesn't go together. So I love that. I am going to post a link here, y'all. But that is it. I did 30 minutes gaming news. Talked about PS layoffs. We talked about Embracer. We talked about studios going for studios going indie. We talked about revenue. We talked about games, right? We talked about 2 different games that I'm really excited about. Oh, by the way, I'm still loving Ghost of Tsushima as well as Prince of Persia. Who cares what the gaming critics say? If you like the game, continue to play the game. But with that, let me post a link if y'all want to come in. If y'all just want me to continue to go, I can continue to talk for a second. It's funny because I'm not really a talker, but I can definitely talk more game stuff that's currently going on. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can do. You know what? The thing that really bothers me about. Let's see. Can I pin this? There we go. Pin message. There we go. As you all know, another cool, exciting thing that's going on. Maybe you don't know, but on Sundays I stream Fall Guys, and everybody's invited. It's cross-platform. Which, speaking of cross-platform, one of my favorite games just went cross-platform. I'll tell you that in a second. But Fall Guys is cross-platform, and this week they released a new mode for Fall Guys called Survival. So I'm really excited to dig into that with everybody. And also, I love Remnant 2. It's my game of the year last year. Low key, some people like it, some people don't. I love it. Remnant 2 is now crossplay. So if you play Remnant on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, you can now all linked up and play together. And hopefully, I think relatively soon, they're going to be dropping a new DLC. And now until March 5th, they're actually adding a certain game mode called Abomination Abolition or something. Basically, you just kind of go in. It's like Armageddon mode and you kill a whole bunch of things. So that's also going on right now. So I think right now it's really been exciting. If you're a gamer, for me, as you can tell, games I'm looking forward to, games I've already played, games I'm currently playing. And I highly recommend hopefully to look into some games, because there's definitely a lot of games out there. You gotta buy Final Fantasy 6. Oh, Tony Baloney, are you liking it? I'm happy you're liking it if you're liking it. As people know, I never really talked about Final Fantasy, but I know Holt has been playing it, and I think someone else is playing Final Fantasy in chat. I'm really excited for y'all. Like I said, anytime you see games doing well, that's good, because we need all games to do well. I don't know how many times I have to say that. You need all games to do well to have a healthy gaming ecosystem. You can't have just a few, but yeah, all games need to do well because they lift all boats. And if you want me to explain that or not, too bad, because I'm going to explain it. The reason why you need all games to do well is because if you don't, you eventually will have money leaving the gaming industry. Like less investors, less just people going there, because there's just less stuff for them to play. So even if it's not your type of game that you like to play, it may be someone else's. And eventually there may be someone who likes that game you don't like, but also likes your type of game. And so by bringing them along this gaming journey, they actually may buy the game or the genre of games you like. Therefore, bringing more money into the community, more money for investors to potentially say, let's fund this game, more opportunity for game developers and other aspiring game types to say, hey, that's an industry I might see myself in. The more likelihood you have more people doing that, the higher the likelihood that you have the game that you may eventually like. So yes, it's a long-about way to say, I think we should cheer for every game to do well, even if it's not the game that's for you. Hey, Jinx. AI gonna start making games? I think AI already makes games, Jinx. Hey, Rudix, what's going on? I just mentioned your favorite game going crossplay. Remnant 2 went crossplay today. So again, y'all, I'm really excited because I think Jersey's Finest, aka Chills Gaming, was someone who's playing it on a platform I don't have the game on. And yeah, I don't want to start a new character on a new platform. Kind of my problem with Outriders right now. I don't want to leave my character. But yeah. Oh, Rudix, are you a Final Fantasy Rebirth 2? Miss Phoenix only plays chill gaming, as she said on here. AA games are usually more cared for. AAA releases shouldn't be as frequent as they have been, in all honesty. I don't see how they would have the money to keep that up. Yeah, well, it's interesting, right? Because AAA, the definition of AAA has kind of wavered, but I like to think of AAA from the traditional sense. So the traditional sense of AAA has meant that you're going to sell, you anticipate selling 3 million copies, you anticipate spending over 50 million, and it's like one more thing that I forget. Obviously, that's been the historical definition. I think nowadays, like the definition is probably you expect to sell 10 million copies, you spend 150 million, and whatever that third concept is, that too. But I can't remember it. But that said, we have the only, well, I would say Vet, but he's like Cozy, he's like Mountain, he's Vet, Cozy, Mountain, Cloud, Gaming, here today. What is going on?
Not much.
Vet,
I'm doing
how
good.
are you?
I'm doing good. Got a new microphone, new headset, new webcam I'm not using because I just want the mysteriousness of the mountains to be there, you know. I don't really do much anymore. I barely play games. I just look up conspiracy theories and take old man naps now.
Oh, man naps. Isn't that...
Well, yeah. In between that, sending random videos on Instagram to everyone that I can find that's on my friend list, you know. Well, I found out birds aren't real. They're actually government-issued drones. Yeah. You know, the usual stuff.
Well,
it's normal.
Lo-Fi would probably tell you this. We don't even mention that species on this channel anymore. Just because we by even saying the word, you're spreading falsehoods that this thing is even real.
I don't even know what we're talking about, so I thought this was a gaming channel. I thought we were talking about PlayStation because that's what I saw in the chat. There was that talk of Final Fantasy and I heard PlayStation's killing off PSVR 2. I saw that in the news today.
Yeah,
But, you know.
yeah. So we talked about it earlier today. That I think that was the biggest news. Obviously, if you're one of the 900 people who are working on
Yeah.
PlayStation London, not good news. Obviously, never fun to hear
Or
someone lose their
EA.
job. Yeah,
Yeah,
EA.
EA is another one.
EA is
I don't feel
another
bad
one.
for EA though, just because I don't really care for EA. I'm not
Ooh,
really.
sounds like Jeff. Jeff
I don't
doesn't
really
care
care
about
for
EA.
them that much. Well, I mean,
Uh,
I do, but I also look. I mean, they're coming out with the new college football game, right? But I also found out how they're paying the college players that want their names, yet they're still screwing them over because what they said is, here, we're going to use your likeness, your name, everything, and in return, we're going to give you $600 and a free copy of the game. They're going to make a ton of money off of that game and using these players' likeness, and in return, they get $670. That's horrible. But that's EA. That's what they do.
that is.
I'm not a fan of
I
that.
don't. Yeah, well, I don't really play EA games. There is one EA game I am looking forward to coming up. It's an EA original. I'll probably talk about it here in another Shades of Purple. But no, I hear you. I hear you. But I will say it is progress, right?
Yeah,
It's progress.
it's a step in the right direction. I think the players need to speak up because we know that that's a game that everybody has wanted since 2014, or technically 2013 when the last game came out. I mean, it's been a hyped game for years, and I think if it's a success, if EA can fix the crap that they've done with Madden and they can make this game a success, they need to pay the players the correct way. But I know that EA's, got, they're canceling projects. They've got other things that they're technically working on that I know at least one thing that they're working on, but I'm not at liberty to say at least. Well, I can up until next.
I know one
later
top
next-
secret thing, but I can't
Look,
talk about the top
working-
secret thing
well,
other than
they're
to let you know I
working-
know the
Hey,
top
look.
secret thing.
Yes, it's a racing game. It's a racing game. That's all I know. I'll know more when I go to their studio down in Orlando, Florida, like in March.
Oh my goodness.
And then whether the information leaks out is not me. That could just be a government tapping in because I didn't wear my, my tinfoil hat.
Oh my goodness. No, that that.
Hey,
no.
Miss Phoenix, I was streaming on Twitch. I didn't see you there. I streamed. I don't know what the name of the game was, but I was streaming from the Xbox Series X that I picked up over like yesterday or the day before, and I didn't see you in there. So don't give me that nonsense.
Miss Phoenix, we're trying to get Miss Phoenix on. I have the hardest time getting other female content
I
creators.
don't think she's real. I think she's AI.
on.
I think she was made by NVIDIA.
She could be. But yeah, I think so. If y'all did not know, what Vet's talking about with EA is that for the longest, as you know, college players could not get paid for their likeness on games, on shirts, on jerseys, or anything, even though it was them themselves. And so that all changed with the NAIA ruling recently, and now they can get paid. And so what EA has done is they have said, I thought it was $500, but $600. Hey,
yeah, it might be one.
What's 100? So it's $600 they are going to pay, and those players are going to get paid now $600 and a copy of the game. So it's actually like $670. But yeah, I totally hear you, Vet.
Still not a lot of money, in my opinion.
Not a lot of money. It's so that is what's going on. Too much red tape and litigation everywhere, even in places it makes no sense to be in. It's always been there. Always been there. So yeah. But Vet, what's going on? Anything?
Not much. Just trying to get my groove back into gaming. I've been diving in with a little bit of cloud gaming during the daytime because it seems the only time that Starlink works the best for me. But I have done GFN, works fine using Starlink, so I'll slowly creep my way back into the gaming stuff. I'm starting to creep into and lurk into everybody's streams to see what I've missed out on in the last month or two. I actually just got gifted a copy of Helldivers 2 on Steam like about 20 minutes ago, so I don't know anything about it.
Rudix is talking about saving liberty and stuff. And I will say, Phoenix, Miss Phoenix said, I just want to, I want to point something out, y'all. If I was AI, I wouldn't be so useless at puzzle games. Something AI would say.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
Just saying. That sounds like something AI would say. That if you were to accuse AI of being AI and they were trying to tell you they weren't AI, they would say something like that. Pretty sure of it.
I mean, NVIDIA would do something like that to put a bot on a PlayStation in the first place.
I'm just joking. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, Vet, we have someone else gone, but if you want to jump back in, we'll definitely have some time later on.
Yep, definitely.
Definitely. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me pop in. Yeah, no problem.
It's great to see you coming through.
As
thanks.
always.
So with that said, y'all, we are bringing in a long time. He just left. But we were, to give you an idea, we were going to bring it. Oh no, he's still here. This person had a thing with poop last week. Let's see where they're at right now. Lo-Fi, talk to us. What's going on?
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, Lo-Fi?
You know me, I'm here for my weekly Shades of Purple rant.
Oh my good. What's the rant? What's the rant?
Look, we all saw Cat Williams' Club Shay Shay interview. We all saw that. We saw the internet fact check this man on everything he said, and everything he said was reliable in the end of it. But I'm telling you today, he himself was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and you know what he said?
What did he say?
Oh, he said he's an Xbox man.
What? So if y'all do not know, Cat Williams is the person about roughly, what was it, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, went on Shannon Sharp, who's a football player, Hall of Fame football player, who used to do a sporting show with Skip Bayless on Fox Sports. And Cat Williams went on to talk about Cat Williams is a comedian, went on to talk about the dark side of comedy and how
he's spilling all the tea.
Comedians steal other people's jokes, and he was naming some pretty big comedian names there. Did I sum that up right? Yo,
summed it up perfectly.
off the top of my head, that's what happened. So Cat Williams, it's supposed, went on the Joe Rogan show to say he was a Xbox player. Did not know that.
That was among the other things they talked about, but yeah. He did say
wow. That. Well, I guess that means he's one of the 100, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just saying you can't.
We're not gonna do that.
He hasn't been wrong so far. Is all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, Cat Williams, brilliant mind. Definitely 20 years ago. But yeah.
But yeah, that and birds aren't real. That's all I'm here for.
Lo-Fi, we don't mention it. We don't say them.
That's true. We don't want them to know that we're on to them.
Well, we don't want to falsify. Like people imagine when everybody looks up that term.
Oh, Bet said. Wait, hold on. Miss Phoenix says. Bet said that Skull and Bones is a 4A game. Would you like to comment? And I would say, I haven't played the game, but I agree with the review I've heard so far from what I've seen. And it's probably the best 4A cell phone game you can play on your PC right now.
Wow. Well, those are shots fired. We know that we have Crow Resin, Jeff Janak. I watched them play it on. They were playing it earlier this week. So I will continue to watch them play it. And what's up, this PlayStation gamer? Look at that. When you put PlayStation in the name, everybody comes. But yeah, they are, they're aerial feather pillows. That's what we call them. Aerial feather pillows is the actual name of them. It's a top secret name. As Vet said, I know a secret that I'm not supposed to tell you that I know the
listening
secret.
Devices. Yeah. They say if it flies, it spies.
One stole your sandwich. See, that's an interesting thing. Did they steal the sandwich or did you give them the sandwich? Like change the perception. I don't
Yeah. You may have been offering the sandwich and not even been.
You may not even known it. May
no.
not even known it. Oh my goodness. Just Jonas Phoenix is like, I'm never coming back to this channel.
I like that word. I need to figure out how to use it.
Which one?
Benounced.
Benounced.
Is that a word?
Benounced to me, it sounds like a word.
Is that like a high score Wordle? Benounced.
Benounced to everyone else.
Is that one of those like irregardless words? Like it's not a word.
Regardless. you just say regardless.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a word.
No, it could be. It could be. I don't know. It's over my pay grade using the word.
It's not benounced to me.
I was holding the sandwich and moving it towards my mouth, but I agreed there was perhaps confusion. It was misconstrued as an offering. Exactly.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it is part of understanding that you've actually been making sandwiches for the birds and stealing it from the birds your whole entire life. And so acknowledging
For all
that,
you know, this bird has trained you. Yeah. Like
and,
Pavlov.
And again, I apologize. I messed up. I'm gonna put $1 into the cookie jar.
Uh-oh.
The flying pillows with feathers. Flying pillows with feathers.
Yeah.
Has trained you. That's it. That's what it was. So that's where we are. But Holtz, what's going on? Any things other than Cat Williams on Xbox and so for Rats with Wings. That's someone who's thinking at the next level.
I've seen you're in New York, so like rats and Rats with Wings are a thing there.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
It depends on your
or are they just like
definition of
other
an issue.
citizens are just kind of there?
Yeah, it's only an issue if you make it an issue.
Oh,
It's like everything in New York. It's only an issue if you make it an issue. Otherwise, because New York is still going to be grumpy at the end of the day.
nah,
What I say, whether or not you have Rats with Wings or not,
it's a grumpy place.
grumpy place.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
But yeah, so that's New York in a nutshell, y'all. Come visit anytime.
All I know, I've just seen Pizza Rat. That's all I know.
Pizza
Or what's that
Rat.
thing? Was it John Oliver with the rat holes?
John Oliver with the rat holes.
I saw somewhere rat holes where like rats, they would be pouring cement for like sidewalks and like rats would fall into the cement and then they would leave a print of just like this like rat print in the cement.
What the heck?
And they call them rat holes.
What the heck? Oh my goodness. We have a couple
weird
of
fact of the day.
we're
Rat
gonna
hole.
look up rat hole here in a second, but we got a couple of people lined up lo-fi, so I got one more. But if you want to
Sure
come back
thing.
on, let Shorty know I said hi. And
Yeah, sure.
y'all, this is Lo-Fi. You can catch him during the week. Lo-Fi, where can they find you?
Check me out on YouTube. Just check out my channel. Go over there.
YouTube, Lo-Fi Monk.
That's
Y'all
it.
know him.
Yep.
There, and that's
All
what
right.
he looks like. All right, smiley faces.
out.
All right, peace. All right, Holtz, what's going on?
Well, do you know what? Actually, strangely, I've actually got a live 2D character, which actually is a bird. So once the overlords take after us, I'll still be a YouTube streamer
Oh
in
my
my
goodness.
persona of a bird.
I'm pretty sure you have, Holtz, we don't use the term. It's actually a derogatory term. They are either known as rats with wings
I mean,
and
I remember
or
the first.
flying pillows with feathers.
I remember the first time you saw my character, and I remember you were in the chat and you went, "Holtz, I can't take you serious."
I
because
get
of
it.
this, like-
I get it. If you have it, you want to pull it up, you can.
I mean, it's set on the PC because it's very RAM civic. I'm actually on the mobile phone, so but when you actually speak about birds, I'm like, don't worry, when the overlords take over us, I'll still be streaming directly to use all about Final Fantasy and other stuff, so I'm fine.
Oh my
Use
goodness,
mostly,
Holtz.
but I'll be
So
fine.
tell us, Holtz, we have a couple of people in chat who are talking about this game. We had Tony Baloney mention it. We've had Rudix mention it. I think we've had Obi mention it.
I was
Tell us about
to the
Final
point
Fantasy
of-
17 or Final
I
Fantasy.
was up to the point of upset this morning, and it could be my disability or it could be the game's graphics. But when I loaded the game, I've been playing RPGs like a Dragon, Final Fantasy 7. There's other stuff that I've played, and I just loaded up this morning, and then straight away just couldn't play. I couldn't navigate. I couldn't read the map. It was just issues. And then what I realised, I was like, I've had enough of this. I'm going to bed. Spoke to Rudig, spoke to Cowboy and stuff like that. And then what I realised, there was a HDR issue. So every time I opened the map at the start was very highly white balanced. Should I say there was like white, blues, greys and stuff like that. And I just realised there was a performance issue. It sort of looked blurred. It was highly illuminated. And at first I was like, oh, it's me, not the game. Went to bed, woke up the next day and actually thought to myself, do you know what, let me turn off HDR. Let me put my
Always
TV
turn
to
off
game
HDR.
mode.
Always turn off HDR.
And as you know, I've been on your show before and I love HDR. I've never had an issue. I've only seen issues on like the Windows side of HDR, but I've never seen it on the PlayStation 5. So with playing Final Fantasy 7 Integrate, I never had that issue. I was easily able to sort of have a linear but open world map and I can navigate. But when I tried to play this game like 12 o'clock this morning, it was too much illuminated on a white background and the marker was blue. It's like a neon blue. And Cloud, the main character, is like a white triangle. And I just thought to myself, it's just too much. And then it was only that I actually woke up this morning and thought to myself, let's take off HDR and lower the sort of luminance and put a game mode on, and it was perfect then. So I think there's definitely should be a patch for the game to offer this feature to increase performance and HDR. But at the moment, I just thought one of my most hyped games of all time, and I just couldn't play it. But I'm glad now I'm actually progressing slowly.
So y'all, if you're really excited about Final Fantasy 17, Holtz just gave some advice. Take off HDR if you are having like a negative experience with it. Should be patched up pretty soon. But that's the worst, right? You're looking forward to it. And yeah, Miss Phoenix,
I mean, there's nothing worse loading the game up and you automatically think like, what's the problem? For example, so there was a bit of delay in this. And it was Rudig. I was saying to Rudig on Discord. I was saying, I've heard some issues, and he said, yeah, there's some performance issues with the mode. Switch it to a different mode. And once I'd done that, the clarity was better, so I changed it to fidelity, and it was better. So sort of, I was taking a hit with the frame rates, and I thought, no, this day one patch is going to come in, and it's going to fix it all. But at the moment, I just remember being so hyped, and I was like, oh my god, this game's going to be amazing for about 2 hours, and I just couldn't sort of navigate, because in Final Fantasy 16, you can have the ability to sort of point to story. It's called like animal sense, toggle sense, and it sort of gives you a directional push. And on this game, I just thought, I can't read the minimap because it's oversaturated, or highly illuminated, should I say, and there was no aid to push forward. And in the morning, I was like, okay, I'll slowly progress, I'll work with it. And then there was accessibility issues like push triangle, hold triangle, and then secretly pushing L2. And part of me's like, wait, you told me to hit triangle, and now you want me to L2. And because the HDR issue was a problem, I just couldn't identify what the button was. Once I turned that off, then it was more readable, should I say.
Well, there you go. So, y'all, hopefully it gets better, Holtz, because I know you've been looking forward to this game, and I know you kind of went back and forth. There's games you want to get excited for.
It's only in the first part. Once you get past the first 20-30 minutes of it, the map becomes more like contrast, so it's more like highlighted grey. So it's like dark grey and light grey. But on the first part, it was just too white. And it was the HDR balance.
No, well, Holtz, thank you, y'all. If you're looking forward to Final Fantasy 17, or why do I keep saying 17? Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. if you're looking forward to that, HDR might be the issue. But Tony Baloney's saying, Tony, you should make a video about this. Tony's saying it has to be calibrated correctly. I guess we're going to do it. Holt's in the building. Yes, he is.
To me, as you know, it's like I just load the game up and I just default settings. I don't really calibrate. I don't really calibrate on my TV displays, and it's never been an issue. So it never prompted me to calibrate HDR. So I just went straight into it because I was like, Final Fantasy VII Integrate never done it for me, and I was just expecting the same type of like sort of map tones. And then when it loads it up, I just thought, this is, yeah, it was no navigation until I actually changed down that illuminance.
Well, Holtz, we're gonna come back to this. Final Fantasy 17 was go again. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. We're gonna come back to this, but we got a couple more people in the back that I do want to talk to as we come back to this. Keep your thought. Thanks for staying up with us, Holtz. We're gonna come back. All right. With that said, Holtz, thanks for coming by. With that said, we got a first-time caller, long-time viewer. TPG.
Oh, what's up?
Sorry about that, TPG. If y'all did not know, right now we have. Let me take this off. There we go. That PlayStation gamer. Go ahead. What's going on?
So
Not
what's
much.
the rules on this? What's the rules on the stream?
Rules are whatever you want to talk about. Like, I open it up for, like, I talked about certain things for the first 15, 30 minutes, depending on how much is going on. Today I talked about for about 30 minutes. And then whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about. But a lot of people probably haven't seen you on around. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is That PlayStation Gamer, and I'm an Xbox fan. No, I'm a PlayStation guy. I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and holy crap, I'm in love with this game. Like, I did not like the first one because there was just, it felt like the hallway simulator that Final Fantasy 13 was. But 7 Rebirth, first off, just gotta give them applause for making it open world and actually making it fun to play. Unlike Final Fantasy 16, which I want to pull my hair out, and I have no hair, so I'm gonna grab someone and pull their hair out.
Well,
but
don't do that. That is against the law in some countries. But that is good to know that it is that exciting of a game for you. So,
the thing is, I'm not a big Final Fantasy 7 fan. I always thought it was kind of like the most overrated of the bunch. Because people were like, oh, it's like the best thing ever. It's better than Persona. Shit like that. Like, yeah, sure. I play Rebirth. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the meat of the game. This is the meat of the story, too. Because I could tell just by playing it.
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I just literally got done playing the first part, the remake, whatever, first part, the Midgard story. And I was like, okay, this is good. But you could tell it's the start. It's the beginning of the story. Rebirth, oh my god. I love the character of Red. Red is best boy. Don't at me. Tifa, best girl. Red 13, if you don't know. The red
you
dog.
Just said something that flew over my head, but we're gonna go with Red is the best boy. Tifa's the best girl. 13.
Red
Made
13.
sense to some people. So keep going.
Well, I like this game quite a bit, and I can't believe that Square Enix finally got me to give a damn about one of their games after 16.
Oh, so y'all, again, it's not Final Fantasy 17.
It's Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
And Red is the goodest boy, which we sometimes say is Red is the greatest boy. But we will. I'm assuming that is a Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah,
7
it's 7.
reference.
It's a 7 reference.
Yes. So no issues with the HDR Dolby Vision. None
Literally,
whatsoever.
it just this game plays so good.
So as Rudix would say, chef's kiss, because he says
it's a chef's
game.
kiss, and
Chef's kiss.
I'm not going to spoilers, but I do think they changed the story up a bit that keeps old fans on their toes.
old fans on their toes.
Yes.
There's too many secrets going on. Vet says
I'll
like
keep- I'll
secret
keep it-
stuff,
I'll keep it
and
secrets
you're
'cause-
saying secret stuff. It's like I have a secret. Okay,
I know. I'm like a
you're
little
not gonna
kid.
tell
I
me,
got a
so why
secret,
would
but I
you
can't
tell
tell
me?
you.
Why would you tell me you have something?
Because then you go buy it.
Rudix, stop it.
Rudix,
is
TPG. I'm a-
amazing.
Oh no,
Ah.
Rudix in the chat. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I love the game. I think it's great. And yes, I also want to just quickly go on my tirade about the layoffs on Sony. Listen, we know in the tech industry right now, there's a bunch of shit going on behind the scenes. There was this massive bubble that they hired a lot of people, and now they got to fire some people because they have to trim the fat, as one would say. You know.
Yeah. Well, no, we talked about it, and as I said last week, I actually ran the clip where I said last week that Sony had a cost issue, that they were going to do layoffs. We talked about that, but I totally agree with you. The whole industry is kind of downsized. Unfortunately, that's a sad thing, because actually the next person we're talking to was in the tech industry, but I really love what they're doing right now with their time, and we're going to come to them in here in just a brief second. But yeah, totally hear you on that, TPG. It was just a clickbait title that Jim and I.
Oh, I know. But let's be fair here. The console war isn't shifted because Sony's still the dominant one. They're the Roman Reigns of the gaming industry right now, and Nintendo's Cody Rhodes. Yeah, go finish your story. I'm still the champ, bitch. At least for a couple more months.
So many references, and no, Nintendo is the greatest of all time. Let's just leave it at that.
Really? Because those emulator lawsuits are really good, huh? Yeah.
With that
You wanna
said,
talk-
y'all,
you wanna talk about that,
TPG,
Papa?
where can they find you? TPG, where can they
They
find
can
you?
find me at That PlayStation Gamer. I do videos here and there, but every Friday I do Freedom Fridays. It's a Helldivers dedicated stream every week because Helldivers 2 is also awesome. And thank you for having me on.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, TPG. Thank you all. That's That PlayStation Gamer. If you watch Cowboy's channel, he usually comes on. So if you want to interact with him, he has his own channel. Look it up, That PlayStation Gamer. Really cool dude. Just a little bit of a fan of PlayStation, if you couldn't tell. And not so much of a fan of Xbox. I'm surprised we didn't talk too much about
Okay,
Xbox.
to be fair,
That's okay.
I want to say this. I am a fan of Xbox, but I feel like they've fumbled too much for me to be confident in them. And yes, I'm a PlayStation fan because if you walk into my apartment, you're going to see a lot of PlayStation Funkos and PlayStation signs everywhere. What can I say? Sony has me indoctrinated. All hail Sony.
TPG, y'all. He may be wrong about Nintendo, but he is definitely a fan of PlayStation. Thank you so much, TPG, for coming by. We have one more person. Neil, you're up late. Thanks for joining. Neil's up really late, y'all. He lives in Singapore or something crazy, in Australia. Welcome, Neil. We have so many people up late around the world, but here we have Shades of Purple alumni, y'all. He was in chat earlier. He's here right now. None other than Joe. What is going on? It's Joe, game developer, former Stadian.
What's up, Purple? How are you doing?
Doing all right, Joe. How are you?
Busy, but doing okay. I got. I guess I'll keep it the whole theme of the show. I got 2 secrets to share. I got 1 bone to pick with Sony, and yeah, that's about it. So my secrets, right? Been alpha testing 2 games that I actually can talk about. Yeah.
Okay. Which game?
One is called As One We Survive. So you can check it out on Steam, right now. It's a top-down survival shooter-esque type game. Made by a team of 2 people, so check that out if you're into games made by small teams. And then the other one is a cozy open world exploration game called Nightstone. Check that one out as well. It's a single solo developer type game. So
super cool. So Joe, I'm super glad that you're hot. Everybody's super glad just to see everybody. And Neil, sorry, I said Neil was in Singapore or Australia. He's actually in Great Britain, which some people confuse with Singapore and Australia. Just saying. Just saying. But so Joe, last time you were on here, had a job. We're kind of doing game dev stuff on the side. We've now kind of went full on game dev. I love this shirt. It says what? The
Codfather. It's a fish joke. Like
cod,
cod.
like I know cod because they.
I live in New England. Codfather. You know.
I get it. I get it. I'm a fish and chips fan, just not cod as my fish and chips type of fish. But
Fair enough.
you gotta be a fish and chips person to you gotta have the right fish for that. It starts with the right fish. But so now you're full time game dev. You kind of like.
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm like a half-time game dev at best, to be honest. But we're making it work, so that's the important part.
Yeah, and that PlayStation gamer just said something very console war. Like when they can't beat you, they're just gonna say Nintendo's on another gaming universe. They're not part of us.
This ties into the whole game dev thing. My bone to pick with Sony is, as an indie developer, it is super hard to get your game onto their platform. So like I got accepted to the ID at Xbox program. So like when my game is finished, you'll be able to download it and install it on Xbox, right? The Nintendo piece, it's like super straightforward. You just have to jump through some like tax loopholes and things like that, like business structure stuff to get on Nintendo, and you got to pay some money. And you have to meet their like performance requirements and things. Sony's is like very difficult. Like you have to have like a publishing partner and like petition Sony to even like touch your game. It's like very challenging as like a one-man band to get your game on a platform like PlayStation.
So take that, Sony, and take that PlayStation gamer. Suck it. I feel like he would have said so. No, I'm joking. No, that really stinks though. So what you're saying, like right now, day and date, your game will be available on PC, right? Xbox. And
Xbox. Well, Nintendo, we'll see. It'll probably be after the fact. Xbox, like, you have to go through their whole like approval process and all that jazz. You know, the game has to be validated for their platform and yada yada yada. There's only so much I can really share about the details of it, but I was accepted to the independent developer Xbox program, which is like the important part. Then I just have to check all the boxes once the game is done to like get it out there in the wild per se.
Super cool. And Neil actually was saying that, is this a Call of Duty reference? The cod.
No,
it's the fish. It's the fish.
Fishing boat. You know, it's a fish thing.
This is a gaming channel. You know, we're gonna make this about a console war type of deal. Yes,
Yeah,
it's Codfather. He was behind the Activision sale, right here. That's what he's known by this title throughout the gaming industry. He's the Codfather. No. So will you try to get on? Like, would you like to be on PlayStation as a game dev, or like?
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course, because it's more potential revenue. So like as someone like putting their own time and effort into it and spending their own like hard-earned like there's no publisher, there's no like Kickstarter thing. Like it's just like putting money aside to pay someone to do artwork or whatever. You know, and the rest of it's just Joe, ironically. And you know, so I'd love to have it on PlayStation. I'd love to have it, you know, I guess the ultimate dream would be to have it be so there's like a physical copy, you know, so I could go into Target or wherever and take the picture with the thing, you know, that, hey, this is mine, I made it. That would be like the ultimate win, lose, or draw. I just think that would be like really, really cool.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm sure you have, but tell us a little bit about, if you could, about like potentially, like you're going it alone, right? What is the benefits of potentially like working with Wired, the publisher Wired, the ones who made like Lamote and Falconeer and Martha's Dead, the ones who published that one? Like,
so every publisher deal is different, right?
Okay.
So most indie developers, I'm not going to say all, but most of them will take a publisher deal where they'll get like X amount of money up front, you know? So it could be some bigger games, you know, it could be over $100,000. Here's $100,000, finish your game. And then when the game gets sold, until the publisher recoups that money, you're only getting like a fraction of a percentage of each sale of your game. However, the caveat there is, if the game goes belly up and doesn't do well, it's not like you owe the publisher.
Okay.
It's that they made a bad choice with the game. They were like, oh, we're gonna back this guy or gal or whoever. So for me, it just became like a time, energy, finance thing, really. To be honest, I could put together a really polished demo and a pitch deck and pitch publishers, and there's definitely some benefits from like a marketing standpoint or localization standpoint, that type of thing. But I was like, man, if I'm nights and weekends and getting up at 4:30 in the morning and working on it before I go to work, like I want even if it makes $100, like I want the $100, type deal. So yeah, and I honestly just didn't, with being able to self-publish on platforms like Nintendo, Xbox, Steam, all that, like what, besides the marketing aspect of it, what's the real huge benefit of a publisher in today's day and age, to be honest? If you're a single person team that doesn't have a ton of overhead, it's not like I put all my eggs in this basket. It's what's going to pay my mortgage. It's something from day one. It's always been like a passion project for me. So
no, I totally hear you. So like, are you going to be at PAX East, I guess, because you're there up there in Boston?
Yeah. I'm going for a few days due to like my quote unquote regular work. I can't go. I was trying to go out to GDC actually in San Francisco in like a couple weeks.
Let me know if you're gonna go. I'm still debating. I have a spot at GDC, but
I do too. I'm probably not going.
Yeah, I was
looking at like travel stuff and nah.
It's far for us. It's far, and they said it's going to be kind of weird because like a lot of people are like don't have a job.
Yeah.
So
PAX is like 25 minutes from my house.
Yeah, I want to go to PAX East. I've never been to PAX East. So all right, so you talked to us about publishing. So tell us a little bit about like your game, if you could, your gaming journey. Right? Are you doing this cyberpunk theme because you teased us with some concept art last?
Yep.
Is that kind of the direction you're going?
Yep. So I had a whole other project that I was working on that was in active development, and I got some like third party. If you go to itsjustjoe.games, it'll show. It's got a little write up about it and has a screenshot. So a completely different game, completely different genre, completely different mechanics, that type of thing. Got some like independent third party, like no one in the community, basically random stranger almost feedback on it, and was like, yeah, I'm never gonna get this done in time. Yeah. So this is the revamped website. It talks about
what it is, y'all. This is what we're looking at. It's just Joe. It's kind of got this this art. So is it going to be this, or is this the same game?
They're two different games. One's a mobile game and one's a Steam.
Coming soon to Steam. Coming soon to Google Play. Wow. So you're like doing both.
Yeah, because I have a Google developer account that I haven't done anything with in like 10 years. And they were like, if you don't publish an app or game or something soon, we're going to delete your Google developer account. So I was like, I should probably do something with that.
Oh my goodness. Super cool.
So yeah, Neon Noir. It's like think Dark Side Detective meets Cyberpunk 2077. That's the best way to describe it. It's a detective cyberpunk game.
Wow, detective cyberpunk game. This is super cool that you're building this out, Joe. So let me stop sharing for a second. So like, you actually have an artist working with you?
So that's all art that I've paid for the commercial rights to utilize from a publisher.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not good at art. So I was like, oh, look at all this art is cohesive and like matches and whatever. And like, I just have to pay some money to be able to use it commercially. Like that sounds like a win-win to me. And I just saved myself a buttload of time.
Super cool. So there's artists out there who sold their stuff to publishers. Right, and then you're a game dev, and you're like, let me pay a publisher to use this art for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. So, and this is not Do you know if anything about the artist? Is this AI generated art? Is it?
No, it's a company. They're called Cinti Studios. They make a whole bunch of different low polygon type art, like various genres, fantasy stuff, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi stuff, all sorts of stuff. You can go on their website right now and download the same art I'm using in my game, if you're willing to pay like the couple $100 it is for the license.
Wow, this is super cool. Super cool. And Sanchez, I saw you there. If I hadn't said hello, I saw you earlier. Jump in. Joe, this is super cool. We're cheering for you. Whatever we can do to like push you out, let us know. I think we're all going to be buying a game. I know Purple's going to be doing giveaways for it.
Fingers crossed.
And when I do it, I don't ask for the codes. I buy your game. So so we will definitely let it. Do we have a potential release date?
So I actually was invited to this upcoming Steam Next Fest in June, but I'm not going to be done in time. And for anybody that doesn't know or has aspirations to potentially release a game, for any individual title on Steam, you can only do one Next Fest in a year, like in that particular year. So like if you opt in for the Next Fest in June and you don't meet the deadline or don't make it, like you're SOL, to be honest. So I'm probably shooting for an October release date. For the actual game after October, mid-October, I would say. However, I should have the Steam page up and like the working demo in the next 2-ish months or less, hopefully, knock on wood. Yeah, I'll basically be able to start collecting wish list hopefully in the next like 45 days.
Let us know. We will definitely push it out, to everybody we know. So if you all did not know, just catch up, everybody. It's just Joe, Shades of Purple alumni, also former Stadium Cloud gamer, works in the tech industry, started doing game dev stuff on the side. It's super cool because I remember when we first started talking about it and you kind of started your channel showing us what it was like going through. Obviously, you have done it more with your daughter, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Yep.
And just to see how this has evolved, and all the way now this year, expecting to launch in October and probably sometime early April. It sounds like mid-April, you're going to be having the Steam page up so where we can download a demo of it, wish list it. Just, while we have some people here, how can they support you?
You can go to itsjustjoe.games and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the website to keep up with like all the stuff. I only send a newsletter out about once or twice a month, so it won't clog up your email inbox.
It's just Joe.games. So let me put this out there for anybody. I know Neil's so fast. It's like we kind of grew up with it, but it's just Joe, not none of us. We're just moral support. But let me put this in there. There we go for y'all. If y'all want to go over there, definitely go. Thanks, Ambi. Y'all definitely go in there. I'm gonna do this right now, actually, while I have you on, Joe. And all we do is just put our name for your newsletter.
Yep.
Right.
And you'll get an email like confirming it, like the whole double opt-in GDRP marketing law stuff. So just confirm the email when you get it that says, hey, do you really want to subscribe to this newsletter? And then like once or twice a month, I send out an update talking about the games I'm working on, stuff that's coming in the future, that type of thing, sneak peeks of stuff, artwork, that type of stuff.
No, well, Joe, we're cheering for you. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you for coming on, Joe. You're always welcome here. We'll probably, before you launch your game, we're going to probably bring you back on to do like just talk maybe a more expanded since you've been on, if that's okay with you. We'll set it up. But thank you so much, Joe, for sharing that.
All right. Take care.
Y'all, it's just Joe. She's a Purple alumni. Coming to you closer to the launch date, we'll do It's Just Joe's entire show. Also, if y'all did not know, Joe is a veteran. And you know how I feel about my veterans. Got to support them. Thank you, Joe, for your service. As always, it means a ton just so you succeed outside the military. So awesome job, Joe. with that said, we're gonna bring back Lo-Fi Monk. Lo-Fi, what's going on?
Yo. Dude, that guy's talented.
Isn't he?
Yeah, you ever see those guys? They're like the plate spinners. There's like all these plates spinning everywhere. They just keep them all. That's that guy.
Hey, oh my gosh, Ghost in the Garage. What's up? Ghost in the Garage. Yes, we were just talking to Joe. Yeah, that dude, like, I remember when he was talking about this, remember? Like way back in the early Stadium days. And it's just so cool to see what's going on.
Oh
with
man,
him.
that guy, he's shown me so much cool stuff that he's been working on, things he's trying, and like, dude, it's fun to watch. And I just love to sit and listen to him talk and let him show off his projects and stuff. Like, I like to see what he's working on. Like, he made a little demo thing with his kid where like it was like a zombie shooter.
Yeah.
And he did different skins for all the guns for like all of us in the community. Like, there was one that was nothing but smiley faces all over the gun, and it was really cool. Like little hidden stuff all over the level. I don't know if you remember that. There was some purple
No, I
stuff.
do. I definitely remember it. I mean, I remember that they were thinking about doing like a community type of game for Stadia at one time. I mean, Joe, talk about like, obviously a huge fan of him in multiple ways.
Really cool guy.
But yeah, we're gonna come and support. I'm glad he came on. But the game seems interesting. Cyberpunk mystery. Even though Cyberpunk kind of is a mystery, but I'm excited for another mystery. So yeah, super cool, y'all. It's just Joe again. It's just Joe.games. Real simple to sign up. It's your name, email address. You'll get an email to say like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Click yes. Get some updates on the newsletter. We're going to probably be talking about it closer to, we're going to mention it when the demo drops. We're going to also bring Joe back on probably the week before his game launches, just to get some hype built up.
Yeah. Talking about watching like a very fast evolution too. It's crazy.
No, I wish him the most, was it Shovel Knight success, any of those indie game successes,
Right.
Stardew Valley, Gora.
I love the indie scene.
There's so many great indie games that were built by like a small team. We wish them all the success. And that's what we're saying. We need the games industry to do well. So people like Joe,
Like
may not be the game
most
you like,
dominant game going right now, like Minecraft. Like that was an indie team that started that. That was
Minecraft. That's you get your game.
1-2 guys. Yeah.
No, Minecraft. I've only played Minecraft probably a total of. I've watched Minecraft more than I've played Minecraft. I'll say it like that.
That's probably the case for a lot of people.
I watch it more than I play it. But you'll know what kind of games I like. You know what type of games I like.
Yeah, let's talk about these trailers that you were showing.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, how do you say it? Indica? Indica. It's just Indica, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's Indica.
I saw that a while back. When they dropped the trailer, whatever little event it was, and I'm with you. It gave me impressions of that Viking game. What's that called? Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade.
Yeah, it kind of did have like that feel, but the trailer you showed tonight was completely different. When I saw that, I was like, "What the heck? What?" This chaotic.
So
it's definitely creepy.
Let me just kind of show everybody the Steam page really quick. So we showed this trailer earlier, everybody. We're not going to show it again because it's like 2 minutes long, but if you want to go, it's Indica. Super kind of creepy, right? Anytime you're dealing with nuns, which in general are kind of creepy, right? And it's definitely a psychological war. You can go right now and download the demo of this game.
Oh, the demo is out. Okay.
The demo is out, right?
Definitely gonna check that out then.
It definitely has like some kind of techno music in the game. It's kind of interesting what they did there.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. This trailer is totally different from what was shown previously.
Yeah, so that is that.
But in a good way.
Very interesting. As you can see, Meters, this developer, 11-Bit Studios, formerly based out of Russia, now based in Poland, is the publisher. So just super cool. I I don't know. It's just nobody's really talking about that type of stuff, so that's why I wanted to show it. You know,
Is that an indie studio?
what's that?
Is that an indie?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
There's a
That's-
lot of so over the last few years, a lot of studios are coming out of like the Europe scene. Really credit that if you've seen the growth of the Nordic Games Conference that happens in May. They've really spawned like an entire ecosystem of game development out there in Europe. That's super cool to see and exciting to see it build up.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
is kind of out of that, even though it's not a Nordic, but obviously European game development. Didn't hear that a decade ago.
And the other game was what was it called?
No
This was
Rest
Ori
for the
game.
Wicked. Another
the
game
Wicked.
coming out of Europe, out of Sweden to be exact.
Dude, the game that I've watched Wilson play a lot of it, the Ori, series, and the game's beautiful. I need to get into it and play it.
Ori's so
But
good.
yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that game.
Ori is
For
amazing.
both those games.
I continue to say Ori is my favorite game that Xbox has published. And
Yeah,
I don't know why everybody's upset with the Xbox exclusives going to PlayStation or Nintendo, because Ori was an Xbox exclusive that went to Nintendo. So I'm like, it's already happened, y'all. I don't know why everybody's like freaking out about this. But no, I just think the focus on the art with that game is I gotta support the art people.
yeah.
So yeah, so those are, like I said, this game channel. I wanted to give a little bit of business up front, so I talked a little bit about that. I had my call on PlayStation was spot on there, week in advance. So talked a little bit about that, and then I wanted to show two trailers of indie games that are coming out. And like I said, tomorrow, if you want to see more about No Rest for the Wicked, everyone, if you want to see some more information about that game, tune in to their webpage on YouTube. They are going to do a deep dive of the game. Fingers crossed that they do a stealth drop for early access. Fingers crossed. They've said they're going to do early access. Games we've seen in the past that do early access have went on to do great things because they get your feedback, they get revenue up front. It's a win-win for everybody. So fingers crossed for that, y'all. If they get it, I'm gonna be talking about it. So yeah,
Fingers and toes crossed.
fingers and
I
toes.
guess if that helps.
Yeah, we'll see, but they're gonna be talking about it. They've been building it up all week on IGN. Everything basically for No Rest of the Wicked. It's been really building.
Is there any other indie games you got your eyes on?
Other indie games,
Or
yeah.
what?
Actually, I do have another one. I don't have the trailer up for it, but let me make sure make sure I can get the name because I don't want to mispronounce it. Let me make sure I say it. Tales of Kinzera is another indie game I'm looking for.
Kinzera.
It's not really fully. It's made by a small team development, but it was accepted into the EA Originals program, so they have a publisher behind them. So I guess it's not fully indie, but EA
Right.
Originals are kind of like meant for indie developers. But Tales of Kinzera,
It's like indie developers that are sponsored by EA in a way,
Yeah.
kind of thing, huh?
Yep, for sure. And hey, it's Amy. He's here. He's actually a Fall Guys streamer.
Yeah, shout out to all the
India.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, so some of the Fall Guys crews here. This is what I do
Shout
on
out to
Twitch.
India.
To India. Yeah, that was the name of their server. I was actually trying to play it earlier today with them, but I couldn't get the server name to work. But yeah, so if y'all did not know, Sundays I do Fall Guys streams. Just a fun time to goof off.
Yeah, Joe, Blood and Meat. I've watched a little bit of that guy's development journey, and I saw his video recently about how his game's too violent. It was great. He added more blood and stuff.
Yeah.
So they said
And
it was too violent.
And what is going on, Cowboy? King of Entertainment is in the house.
What? Cowboy.
Cowboy's
What up,
in the
Cowboy?
house. And you're exactly right. That PlayStation Gamer Baldur's Gate 3 was early access. Pre-order Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush. That PlayStation gamers, get in that on that action on that
Right.
game. It did really well.
I got something to say. Cowboy, what do you think about Cat Williams as an Xbox guy?
We will
We'll have
see.
to let that. Yeah, we'll have to let that delay catch up. But yeah,
Yeah. So, Lo-Fi, what game are you
Better.
playing right now? And then before, Holtz has come back as well. But before we jump to Holtz, what game are you playing right now?
so here's my thing. I don't have a lot of gaming time, but I'm
Okay.
trying to get through GTA 5, right?
Okay.
And I've been telling you guys past couple weeks. I have I beat the game, but there's one last mission. And I gotta go get drugs for Trevor's mom, and then I'm done. I'm done.
And then what are you going to play after that?
I don't know. It's time for me to see what Game Pass has to offer, and I have a collection of games that's just I got a backlog. So we'll see what happens.
Got it back. Your game, man, we just lost Holtz. We'll have to get him back here in a second. But what was I going to say? Your game is actually getting the game you played, what's it called? Main games told you to play. Days Gone, starting to get a lot of I've seen a lot of people play that recently.
Yeah, they need to bring the team back, make a second one.
Yeah.
They need to do that. Somebody needs to figure out a way to make a part 2 to that game.
Well, they're going to come out with a TV series, so hopefully the TV series revitalizes the game, and then they come out with a new game. So that's super. I think it's super cool. But
The
look,
storyline and game is really good.
it is. I think
It
it's one of
really,
those
really good.
games. That one, there's a couple of them that'll be playing here on PlayStation that did not get the acclaim that they should have when they came out. But I'm excited that they're kind of getting another run for it. But Lo-Fi, with that said, we're gonna bring Holtz back on. He's
Heck
kind
yeah.
of running, he's staying up really late. But yeah.
Well,
You know,
what up, Holtz? We'll see.
We'll come-
The great and all-powerful Holtz the Magnificent.
Holtz the Magnificent. All right, thanks, Lo-Fi.
All right.
Peace. Y'all, and that's Lo-Fi Monk. You can catch him on his channel, Lo-Fi Monk. It actually comes up, unlike Purple Haze. If you won't find me if you look for that. So with that said, Holtz, what's going on?
I like what Lo-Fi said. He's only saying that for the protection when I've actually got my live bird character in the Overlords, and he's going to
Oh
be my
my-
number 2.
Oh,
I like the flattery. So Lo-Fi's my second in command. But anyway, indie games, right? The next indie game that I'm looking forward to is Beat Slayers. on
say
the
this
4th of
again?
April. Beat Slayers.
Eat Slayers.
A rhythm hack and slash with a musical tone. So it's like, so,
18
straight away it
Slayers.
goes back to like the idea of Hi-Fi Rush.
18 Slayers. What is it?
Beat, B-E-A-T, Slayers.
Beat Slayers. Oh, Beat Slayers. All
4th
right,
of
so-
April.
Just so anybody wants to see it, we're going to pull it up right now. Just so this is their Steam page. Share. Make sure I got that. Beat Slayers. This is what Holtz is looking forward to. We're not going to really
My next
gonna
indie.
beat 'em up. Is it a beat 'em? It's a roguelike. I thought you didn't like roguelites.
I know, but
hack and slash game.
hack and slash. I can do hack and slash to a beat.
Oh my goodness. Well, if it has an amazing story, I may play it. Oh, Beat Slayers is cool. Is it? So the game, there's a game that's coming out in like 2 weeks that I'm super excited for as well that I did not get to show on stream yet. This is actually pretty cool, but kind of in the same style. So
I'm not really good at roguelike and stuff like that, but you put a beat to it, a bit of music, a bit of Eye of the Tiger, I'll beat anyone.
No, so we'll see. The game, because this is kind of coming around the same time I'll be playing another game that I've talked about. I should have probably had it. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. If I can pull it up, y'all, I am going to try to play this other one here. That I'm not
Wait,
sure. Hold on.
Why are you looking up? I bought 2 games today. I actually, from our Stadia days, I actually bought Humans Fall Flat because I wanted a puzzle game, bit of humor.
Okay.
And I remember back in the day having a blast with like sort of that ragdoll mechanics, and I actually bought Chicken Police.
Chicken Police.
Remember Chicken
Yes.
Police with the animals? It was sort of like Sin City with animals, which because I was speaking to my friend and I was like, oh, I was speaking about the one with Big B Wolf. I actually thought to myself, I just want something that's sort of a detective thriller-ish, but with like characters in like this dark 1920s settings. And I remembered Chicken Police, and I was like, do you know what? And I was laughing because I had them on Stadia, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to play them again on Steam Deck.
Chicken Police, if y'all have not seen it, great detective movie or detective game with the head of a chicken and a gazelle and rabbits. Cool game. Was on Stadia.
It always reminded me of Wolfmongers. That sort of like Telltales-esque. So instead of fairy characters and stuff like that, it was animals, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I like Chicken Police. Well, Holt, here's this game that I am really looking forward to. Hopefully it does not come in choppy, y'all. It has happened before. I apologize in advance if it does.
Contra. I knew that.
You knew it? Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna give us a hard time. It's gonna give us a hard time. I think it's gonna
March
give us a hard
release,
time.
Isn't it next? What?
It's coming out.
Mid-March?
We're not gonna be able to see it. We're not gonna see it. Well, y'all, Contra's coming out. Contra, Operation Galuga is coming out next month. I'm super hyped. It's local co-op, so not online co-op, but I'm gonna get to play with my brother, and I am super.
How would we label this, Purple? Is it a remaster, refranchise, remake? What is the idea of Contra in today's age?
So I think Contra Operation Galuga is not a remaster or remake, because it's a different game, right? It's a different. There's some elements from the first one, but the fact that you can play with multiple characters on it and a couple of other things, I would say that I don't put it in that category.
So it doesn't scare you off that it's like a sort of reimagining the genre?
No, I mean, it's still the same players in 2.5D. Like, so if y'all did not know, if you want to go, you can go download the demo right now to Contra Operations Galuga on Steam, Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox. You can go download it right now. But it's a 2.5D game, which, if you can tell, like, I kind of like that. It's shooting, lots of chaos. But no, I don't think it ruins it at all. I think it's like an evolution, and I think it's a breath of fresh air by going back to an older IP. Like, hats off to Konami. Like, I'm excited.
I mean, I don't go as far back to Contra from a Konami, but mine's sort of Castlevania. I'm looking forward to see what your take is.
Well, what you said for Castlevania?
I mean, no, your take in Contra. I've heard people talk about Contra, but it wasn't a game that I ever played in my childhood.
Really? No, Contra. So that TPG doesn't trust Konami. So I played it, y'all. I played the demo. It's only the first level, but it's fun. It's one of those things. It has. So the cool thing about this one, Holtz, as you know, I'm really into the art, really into the music. Contra has a very particular song to it that when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's Contra, if you've ever played Contra on NES. And they took the same score from the game in NES and they made it like orchestra. So it's actually like orchestra playing the songs in the background, which just gives it this other element of like pretty uniqueness to it. Like, again, if you remember when what's the game, the Atari series kind of revitalized all their games with the same music and made it more techno. He actually brought on the composer of that series who did that. I think Contra did the same thing, but it's 2.5D holds. It's pretty cool.
Nah, I don't go back to the Atari. Like, the only time I've actually really wanted to play a game that's sort of repixelized, remastered is Final Fantasy Collection 1 to 6 as well. sort of updated pixel music and pixel art, should I say? You know, in that 32-bit
Yeah.
range, whatever it was. I've never went back to the idea to Atari.
Oh, well, the Atari, remember on Stadia when we all did the it was like Centipede, and there was a couple of other games like that the Stadia community got behind. Like that was like the same game with some elements that were up leveled, but Contra's kind of done it a little bit more. I think people should go play it. If you like beat 'em ups, you may like it.
I mean, in the day, on PlayStation 3, I used to have the Atari collections, the Sega collections from old school, but that was on a PlayStation 3. I never had the Atari, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was too young for that, I would say, to play. But music, from musical backgrounds, I was actually jealous from one of our community members this week when I found out he's actually got something that I wanted to try so hard to get. And it was Maker of Chaos. He's actually got a Nia. He's heading off to watch Nia Orchestra. And I tried to go to London to actually see it live, and I couldn't get tickets. And he's like, "Oh yeah, gonna see it next week." I'm like, "Damn you!"
Oh my goodness. Well, I totally think everybody, if you're a fan of Contra, should go out and download the game. It's super cool. I know TPG has some issues. TPG actually has just come back in, so we'll be hearing from him again. But yeah, I think it's super cool. There's super cool games out. Also, y'all, before I forget, I did want to bring it up. I told y'all I actually have been playing a handheld Holds. Do you know which handheld I've been playing recently?
Oh, PlayStation Portal.
PlayStation Portal. That wrong.
Okay, so it's Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be Nintendo Switch.
Nope, no Nintendo Switch. Wrong. You have one more
Oh
guess.
my god! Oh, my head's blown purple. What are you doing to me? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You probably follow our good man, Chariot Man Gaming, the Legion Go.
The Legion Go, y'all. 3 guesses. Holtz got it wrong. And without further ado, TPG, I see you there. I just want to show y'all what I have been playing recently in handheld mode, even though I cannot do it. You see that?
What have you been playing?
Game Gear.
You've been playing what have you been playing on the Game Gear?
Sega Game Gear. Yeah, I've been playing.
I haven't seen a Game Gear in literally. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
You know, if you see, that was unfair. Like, if you told me the decades out, I was like, I could have said like the N-Gage. I was like, no, you're knocking it. Yeah, but no, thinking.
Y'all, so many great games are on this. I'm actually playing a game called Super Columns that I never beat when I was little. Just kind of was going around. Yes, Jeff, like I thought it was kind of cool.
How's the experience today in the sense like?
Oh, it's amazing.
Going back to like the retro feel.
It's amazing. PSP laugh out. No, it's amazing. But Holtz, we got a couple of people. I see TPG and ISO. ISO, you got to give me a second. TPG, just jump back in. But Holtz, if you want to, you know
what? Watch out, guys. In Purple's background, you might see other handhelds. Just make sure you're console PC handhelds. Keep it clean, guys. In the background.
All right. Take care. All right, later, Holtz. All right, TPG, what's going on? What have you been holding in for years? Tell us.
I've been holding this rant in for years, man. And I just gotta talk about this mindset people have of games are better back in the day than they are now. Oh my god, the retro community. Don't get me wrong, I love old games, but there are people out there that just have this fucking toxic ass mindset of, oh, this game isn't good as it used to be, or this franchise isn't the same. Okay, I see you laughing there, Purple. By the way, I see you laughing. I'm not so hot-blooded. I can't see that. But here's a question for you. Do you feel like video games have gotten worse or better with time?
I think there's some video games that were really awesome back in the day, but obviously, as I told you, like the new Contra, I'm a fan of, right? I'm a fan of the old Contra. I'm not a fan of every Contra, but I would say it's fun. I don't necessarily. I'm not someone who's like back in the day.
So
I wouldn't say that. I think there's fun games all over.
So here's the question I have. Do you like the new Contra because it reminds you of old Contra, or because they're doing something new with it that you enjoy?
Both.
Really? Okay, well, I'm not familiar with the Contra series, to be fair. But I know there are a lot of people out there that just have this mindset of gaming sucks now. And now I'm seeing on fucking Facebook and Twitter and everywhere, gaming's dying. It's dying because the Sony has layoffs and every other developer are canceling games. Guys, do you not know how many fucking games get canceled? You don't even hear about. I saw people get all upset. Oh my god, they canceled the Twisted Metal game. The Twisted Metal game. Like, y'all motherfuckers gonna sit there and seriously buy a Twisted Metal game in 2024. A game, by the way, apparently didn't even leave past the pitching stage at this point. They didn't have a concept art for this shit. They're just gonna come to Sony like, here, we want to make a Twisted Metal game. Here you go. Yeah, we have a Twisted Metal game. It's called Destruction Derby All-Stars. How'd that turn out?
God,
Don't get me wrong.
He's been holding this in for years, so we're letting him let it out. Let it out, TPG.
It's just, I'm trying my best not to be a dick about it, because I get, like, you know, I'm going to have the reputation of being a PlayStation guy because of my name. Yeah, fair. But at the same time, I'm not so diehard Sony. I can't see past the fucking, you know, bullshit they do. Like, oh my god, are we seriously gonna get a fucking? Are we seriously gonna get a PS5 Pro before we have a new fucking game from Naughty Dog? Are you fucking for real? Sony, yo man, you guys, you gotta get off your ass. You guys sitting on your ass. You're sitting on your hands with your ass, and
you're doing some sitting of hands. Those body parts go together. Yes, we hear you. This is how angry he is, y'all. He can't even.
I'm tired of the complaining, and I'm tired of the laziness. Gamers need to demand better, and publishers and developers need to do better. You got something to say, Purple?
No. So are you saying, with your original premise,
I feel like there's
that games are not as good? You're saying games are better today than they were before, and
in some departments, yes, by default. I mean, look at graphics. I mean, dude, come on. How many of you are seriously going to go back there and play the original Final Fantasy VII and sit there and go, oh, this is fine. This is just, it's kids, it's classic. It's classic. That's a phrase I hear all the time. Classic. Classic. You know what classic means to me? Old as shit. Have you gone back and played Blasto? A game I used to love as a kid. Man, that game controls like ass. And yeah, people will tell you, oh, older games are better. They're better. Just because they're older. I know. I'm sorry, Purple, if I'm being stupid. I'm being toxic,
I love it. I said,
I've been holding this in for years. I've been wanting to make a video about this, but every time I make it, I hear myself. I'm thinking, oh my god, I sound like an idiot. But now at least I can actually go off the cuff about it.
So you come to my channel to do.
I come to your channel to do it because what the hell? I gotta do it eventually, right? I'm gonna hold it in. Look.
Well, I will say this, TPG. Regardless of if you made the video or you said it on my channel, I will say you sound the exact same. If that helps you.
Fair. But then you have to do the editing process and all that. And
so why do that?
You're not. The motivation's gone essentially to do it.
So, what I'm confused about, just with your statement, I see ISO Motion is in the chat, is behind scenes, TPG, but yeah. You started off your rant with that the games aren't as better, but then you ended your rant with currently PlayStation needs to do better. Your name is the PlayStation Gamer. and you're calling them
Correction,
out.
it's that PlayStation Gamer. Why does everyone call me the? Can you not see the AT at the
Yes,
end? The AT.
that PlayStation gamer. So it sounded like you're going after everybody, and so there's usually several things we say at this stage when someone goes in a rant. Either A, do you need a hug? Because everything you just said kind of just said that. Or B, what's really going on in your life? Right, these are the two things we normally say at this time.
Yeah, I noticed you changed the music on there me for a second. But no, it's like I said, it's just I'm sick of the mindset of complaining and laziness, and just I've also been kind of caught up in a negative vortex for several years, and all I hear at all time is people just complaining and complaining. And yes, I know the irony. You're laughing that I'm complaining about people complaining.
Like I said, what's really going on in your life? You've been caught up in a vortex, and it seems like you need a hug. I tell you, it works every single time. Works every single time when someone goes,
nah, I don't need a hug. What I need is I need a cigarette or something.
what's
Goddamn.
going on? All right. Well, TPG, thanks for coming by. You know you're always welcome here.
I'm sorry for the record. Like I know this
Totally
is
okay. I want to
unprofessional
get
of me and everything.
I'm gonna get ISO. He's been waiting in the back for a second. Thanks so much, TPG. You know it's all fun. and
Hey,
games.
at least I made the people laugh.
You did, TPG. You did. All right. Take care. ISO, what's going on?
Yo, what up, Purple?
ISO, where you been? Like
Yo,
you're
I've
so
been- oh my
like what's been
God.
going on?
I've been busy. I've been extremely busy. I just moved. We bought a house, right? Me and the
Your
fiance
wife,
got married.
Pause,
Yep.
pause,
Yep.
pause. So when ISO Motion Gaming came on to do his Shades of Purple, also another veteran. Thank you for your service, ISO.
Thank you.
You know, he was engaged. He is now married.
Yep.
And you got married December? January?
Yes.
December got married. Dark 1985. There's levels to this.
Yo,
What?
level of layers to this.
Levels and layers to this was one of your groomsmen,
Yep, he was.
right? So you're married now. You bought a house. So you
Yep.
got married. So the question I always have for people in this situation, you get married, you buy a house, which by the way are two of the most stressful things people can do, right?
Oh, yes.
You did it at the same time because you're like, you know what? Let's just knock it all out the way right now. So what does it feel like to be a married gaming man?
I mean, it feels the same. Nothing really changed. I mean, obviously we were married for a reason. She knows what's up. I'm the most casual gamer at its finest. She accepts me for what I am, which is amazing. Love the fact, right? I love her for everything she does for me. But no, it's been freaking awesome. I've just been busy setting up my office, which is the only reason why I don't have the camera on, because I'm waiting until it's done, and I want to show everybody what's up, because I am really like getting it like ready, because I finally have my own spot.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, this is my man cave. It's one thing I've always wanted whenever we got a house. So it's getting there. It's close. It's close to being done.
I hear you. I have what they call I guess they call it a vixen layer or something like that.
Oh, what?
a lady layer. I think that's what they call it. It's
Okay.
my little thing here. But yeah. So what have you been gaming on? What have you been playing?
So pretty much I've just been playing like a little bit of Valorant. Like I'll hop in and play like Swift play, like not like a comp game, but like I'll just hop in and play.
Yeah.
And then I was playing a lot of Persona 3 Reloaded, because that's a single player game. I can kind of take my time and not really worry about much. But yeah, that's really the only two games I'm playing right now.
Nice.
But that's just because I've been busy. Like
You've
I
been
tried
busy.
Helldivers 2. I actually just refunded it, funny enough.
Whoa! Big news there, because Rudigs, we had a couple of people who were just talking about Helldivers 2 in the chat earlier. So you refunded it.
Yeah, like it's not and my first few games was with Dark 185. We were having a good time. We were playing with Juju and everything. Of course, Juju's a better gamer.
Juju's
Doc's
really
family.
good at gaming.
Oh yeah, he's a low G. But yeah, it was fun. But then it's just like that game is very focused on co-op, and I just didn't see myself playing a lot. So nothing against the game. I was just like, I generally don't see myself playing this a lot. So I was like, I'll rather refund it, get it maybe what's on sale, like maybe $15-20, feel a little bit better about it. But 40 right now, I'm like, considering how much I play, yeah, I'll refund it.
No, I hear you
Yeah.
on that. I hear you. Well, I haven't played it. I'm looking forward to another game coming out by Embark Studios called Arc Raiders. That kind of has a similar concept to it, and I'm really looking forward to that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a
They're
bunch of
the- they're
VR
the-
games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, Embark is the one that did the finals, and I know you streamed the finals.
Oh yes, the finals was dope. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing another one called Arc Raiders that I am kind of looking forward to. But what games are you looking forward to?
Non VR wise, nothing really. Like,
Whoa, so
there's
are
just-
you a VR? So you're staying with VR.
oh yeah, no, I always play VR.
So we talked about VR earlier today, right? We talked about, as you can see the title, PS layoffs. PlayStation laid off a lot of their VR team. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't really bother me only because so I have the PSVR 2, and I haven't really been using it much, unfortunately.
So what have you been
But-
playing on? The Meta Quest?
My Quest 3.
Okay.
But with the news that the PSVR 2 headset is going to work on PC, now it gives me more of an incentive to use it on my PC and kind of compare it a little bit better. Because, the games still look great on PS5, but there is still, I guess, maybe somewhat limitations with it. And I think the most annoying thing, which makes me not like the PSVR 2, is kind of setting up for it, like getting ready to play, is kind of a headache because it's so specific on where it needs to sit on your head and where it needs to sit eye level wise that it's just like, is it good? Is it not? And I'm constantly adjusting every time. So it makes it like, this is so annoying to get ready to play the game. And at the time, the PS5 was in the living room. So of course I'm in a common area, and then it's just like, it wasn't like the greatest setup, but luckily that might be changing, we'll see. Right.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll see how things go.
No, super excited. Well, so that's super cool because other than you and Mr. Urban World, I don't really know anybody who does VR. So it's good to see that you're liking it. You enjoy it. I saw you do the, Resident Evil stream with VR.
Yes.
I'm still not sure. Like, as you can tell, like as I showed, I'm going back to my roots in handheld gaming right now. So I'm not sure if I'll be going to VR anytime soon. But interesting. And so what's going on? Are you gonna bring back the What a Warrior podcast?
I know I talk to Doc about it all the time. Like we are so bad about not doing it, but it's just like, he's back with the fam, right? And then I've been moving, and then I got a new job in August, September, so I was still getting used to that. And then I started school again. So it's just everything happening, like getting ready for the wedding, because that was coming up in December. So a lot of things was just happening in general. So it was just really difficult to really plan for it. And then I know Doc just at that time too, he just moved somewhat recently too, to be back with the fam. So it was just a lot going on. And then I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, we'll get back to it sooner and later, hopefully sooner more than later,
Yeah. Well, he's kind of going off the rails here. He's making all sorts of videos. He's blowing up for his musical talents. Doc he needs to be reeled back in, ISO.
Oh no, I'm his manager. He knows what he needs to do. So if you guys ever need a song or you want to do a feature with Doc Dark, hit me up. We'll talk numbers. I'll let you know the availability of Doc. Like I'm Doc's manager, so I'm the person you want to speak to if you want to, kind of coordinate something.
We'll do a collab. Well,
yeah, exactly.
We do want to bring on Doc back to Shades of Purple, but he's ghosting me.
Oh, is he?
Doc is
Ooh.
ghosting me. And we would like to bring him back on Shades of Purple, as we've brought back certain individuals for to do another Shades of Purple, where they've been at and everything. And Doc nearly got me in a fight. Did I tell you this?
Oh, what happened?
Oh no, you saw that Jersey. I was responding to
yes. Okay, I thought it was something new.
No, it was like 2 weeks ago. Like, I was responding to a Doc. So y'all, if you did not know this, I was responding to a Doc Dark video. And then Jersey took my video, made a comment on it, or made a segment about it. So of course I responded. And now Jersey's ghosting me.
Oh damn!
my
Why,
goodness.
see, why you making everyone mad purple? Why you gotta do that?
I didn't. I was just like, yo. I mean, Jersey's always welcome, as well as the rest of his podcast. All great dudes, all fun and games. But yeah, you know, got me in a fight.
Jeez. I mean, I think you did well because when I listened, I was like, yeah, I don't understand why that was really like a thing. So I was like,
Because
hey, it is what it is.
it is what it is, as they say. But I was just like, I don't know, Jers. But yeah, it's still cool. Jersey's still cool. All Casper, Jersey, and the rest of them on the channel.
See,
All
at least you don't have to worry about just see. I'm automatically an Xbot by association. Just the fact I know Doc.
You don't even
no
play
matter-
on Xbox.
No matter what I do, I always get shit for something, regardless. And it's hilarious because, in his videos, I always do like, oh, there's levels of layers to this, like an onion. It's just my thing at this point. And it's funny too when I don't say it. Some people be like an onion, and I'm like, yo, I started something. And
You did.
Yeah, for a while I was trying to get it where people thought his little saying was levels of layers.
Oh,
So it was confusing people a little bit every now and then. So I was like, I was having so much fun. But
oh my
no
goodness.
matter what comment like I make on Doc's videos, people will pretty much like give me shit for it one way or another. And I just think it's hilarious.
So we need y'all to come back. Like y'all
I
have a
know.
really great show.
I
Like
know.
there's the balance you all have, because you like keep it kind of calm, right? Keep it moving, and Doc kind of goes off on his like PMS tangents and whatnot. And so it's like we need it. I've been looking forward to it.
I know. I do feel bad because I know people do come by. We do get great support on it, and it's just like hopefully soon. Like I am definitely more situated. The office is looking better, but we still have to just organize around the house in general, you know. So like we had to do yard work because the previous owner didn't care, and then we had, there was hella weeds in the front. So we're just trying to get things settled. And I had to do the backyard look kind of crazy. There's like easily like 3-4 inches of grass. So I had to mow that, maintenance, all that stuff. So it's just like, being responsible.
Grown up, man. Like I'm just hearing you talk, and it makes me think about probably if like not too long ago, you would have been like that is your weekend now, right? You're like, I got to do yard work. I gotta go take care of it.
I know, right?
It's like you're like, dude, you're married now. You own the house. Like, wow, y'all, if you did not notice, ISO has grown up before our eyes. he is a man now.
Hey, there's levels to this. You know what I mean? I was a boy like 4 months ago, but now I'm a man.
Man, he's doing that yard work. He's gonna do he's gonna do it for about, how long do y'all give him? Like, how long do you give him to keep this up before he's like, nah, we're paying someone?
No, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's just the initial maintenance, and then after that, it's just like, okay, the grass is getting kind of long. Let me just mow real quick. Like we don't do nothing crazy. We don't have like flowers or plants that we take care of. It's just mowing grass, and and I have the little push one, just because it was like $100, and it works perfectly fine. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't have to worry about gas and a mower or paying $200-$300 for maybe like an electric one. I was like, it works. You just a little bit more manual labor,
All right, we're gonna clip this, ISO. I just want you to know that. Use it.
I know. Okay. On today, February 29th, 2024, at 19:09 or 7:09 p.m., I said this.
As long as it's multitask. Jeff, I totally agree. And ISO has passed his half-life. Oh, very, very witty there, roster. Chat's super witty. Well, ISO, thanks for coming by, man.
No, I appreciate that. I saw you live. I was like, oh, it's open. I was like, I gotta hop in. I haven't talked to you for a good bit,
Well, we would love to bring you back on to do your, like I said, I think, who was the first one? Jeff or Cowboy was the first reunion episode, and bringing people back on, still bringing on some new content creators, always trying to broaden the community. But I also do these kind of, one-on-one, just people who are around, just catching up what we want to talk about. It also allows me to talk about gaming industry type of stuff because I can't go in someone's chat anymore because they don't do their podcast anymore and
Yeah, who's
cause
that?
trouble.
What a jerk. What a
I mean,
loser.
like Banana Killer and I don't have a place to congregate anymore. Like we need somewhere to go to cause mischief.
It'll be back soon. I will try. I can't promise it, but I will try.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, ISO. Well,
No problem.
thank you, ISO. We got Holtz here and we're gonna shut it down after that one. But thanks, ISO, for coming by.
Okay, no problem. Just let me know, hit me up whenever you want me to come back on here. I appreciate it. I'll let Doc know too. You know that you're trying to reach out, let him know. As his manager, I got you. And I appreciate you guys and enjoy the rest of your night.
Later, ISO. And
All right,
congrats
later.
again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Holtz, you're gonna shut us down. What's going on?
Well, do you know what, right? I heard PlayStation VR 2, and that's what I was actually waiting for as well. The topic to get brought up because I'm a big, huge PlayStation VR 2 gamer.
Okay.
I've been a VR gamer since like the original Oculus and HTC Vive and the Samsung VR and stuff like that. Yeah, and it really pains me because I actually got twisted to join the PlayStation VR 2 community because there was a few people in chat that we know that said, well, if I get one, then this person should get one. Then I was like, well, if you get one, then I get one. And then I was the only one that bloody bought it at first. And originally I was like skeptical about the idea because I was like, I love the idea of the tech and I love the idea of VR, but I feel like publishers and other stuff only put so much investment in it before it dies down. So with the PlayStation VR 2, I was so happy to see the likes of like Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil Village, Horizon, Call the Mountains, and stuff like that. And I really loved the idea. And over the next few months, I was like, oh yeah, I'll wait for Resident Evil 4 to come out and it's going to be amazing. And then I just realised these first-party titles that I was expecting from Sony wasn't coming. And then I got the news of shutdowns in that department. And I'm like, once again, I've been tricked once again by my good old faithful Sony. I've invested. They've closed it down because I've said like Sony Bravia TVs, PlayStation Vitas, the phones, the Xperia phones, the PlayStation Now and stuff like that. And I just thought, once again, I've got the hardware and all I wanted was first-party experiences with high fidelity, great mechanics, from my favorite franchises, and Sony is not delivering.
Well, I just
in
think,
the second tier.
Holtz, and we mentioned it earlier when it came to PSVR 2 that potentially it's just not growing as fast as they wanted. And I did talk about, obviously, there's a lot of gaming things I like Stadia that just didn't grow. But I may actually get a PSVR 2 for one game. One game only.
Game. Ghostbusters.
Exactly! Ghostbusters!
Yeah. You're getting so easy to guess now, Purple. Ghostbusters.
Y'all know, people who watch me know what I like. So yeah, Ghostbusters. Which, by the way, I purchased the Sega Genesis Ghostbusters, but that's a different story.
It's a lovely display, the PlayStation VR 2, and I don't feel like when we were talking about the idea of like the sweet spot on the PlayStation VR 2. I feel like that's with every headset. So I feel like you just need a little bit of wiggle room, get it into the center, and then you get sort of the best experience. But it's a very low percentage. And with the idea of saying, oh, if once PlayStation VR 2 goes to a PC, it'll be better. Well, when you look at a PlayStation 5, the sort of you look at the GPU, it's equivalent to a 3060. Or RX 6700, 16 gig of RAM, and stuff like that. So, unless you've got a PC to rival that, then you're not going to have the better experience. So, I feel like the VR is a great accessory to have with the PlayStation 5, unless you've got a better, beefier PC.
You need a pretty nice PC to get better than a PlayStation 5.
And then, sadly, when I talk about PC VR games or I talk about PlayStation VR 2 games, is they're all copy and paste at the best of times. Unless you've got like that really big hitter, a mechanical changer in VR, it's not going to sell. So I realized when I actually dive into VR, it literally is copy and paste, but with different characters, different franchises. And I feel like, it's not what I'm expecting. So to me, if you said to me, what's the best VR? I'll sit there and say like Gran Turismo 7 or Horizon Call the Mountain. And that's where I've got I wanted faith with Sony coming forward, bringing other franchises. But when you see like the likes of Assassin's Creed with Ezio sort of failing for Ubisoft, to me, I'm like, is VR the future in gaming? I know it's great for social or streaming, but I don't think it's going to be there for gaming.
Yeah.
So I can understand why Sony's cutting it.
I told you VR is going to take off once you can actually get an orgasm off of it. Once that happens,
I never
taking off.
heard this. Well, when was this?
I said you haven't heard this? This is my theory. VR will take off when you can actually like put on a suit or like some other like paraphernalia, some apparel, some accessory. You can put on the VR headset and like get off on that. Like feel it, touch it. Like that's when VR will take off. It is not a gaming device.
Do you know what, people? I knew you said that last week. I just want you to say it on stream. So we all know why. Why Purple's getting a PSVR 2.
That's a different spin on the term, Virtual Boy. That's for sure.
You're getting it for the PSVR 2 for the Ghostbusters. So we all know you got a thing for the Ghostbusters. So,
I Ghostbusters. I will get it for that. But I'm saying VR will take off when that happens. When that happens, you will be like, it'll be like, what is it? Minority Report? Is that the game? Is that the movie? I think it is Minority Report.
One of my favorite experiences with VR is watching other people play VR.
You're one
blown
of those.
away from their experiences. So I can sit there and my family members, my niece and nephew, and they're playing the games like Five Nights at Freddy's, and they will not pay attention to what the goal of the game is. But guess what? They'll do the most stupidest thing, and they'll laugh and joke, and because you watch it on the screen, everyone's laughing and joking how he's being immersed doing the most stupidest things. So that is why, going forward, create games that are so heartily family immersive and stuff like that, and just make some good old fun games. That's all you need to get VR going. I feel like you shouldn't focus on high fidelity, amazing graphics and mechanics. Just do something that captivates the imagination, and that's where VR is going to kill.
Well, we have a tale of two VRs on this channel right now. We have one to make it kid-friendly, fun family games that people can just explore and VR will take off. Or you can take the other side of that coin. And you need a game or a system that just basically allows you to have sex in VR. You decide which one do you want.
Do you know what, Purple? I mean, I got my heart rate going with, when I was doing kayak VR. So God knows, I'll give myself a heart attack. I'm like,
you give yourself a heart attack if that was able to happen.
You don't know what these people demand, and they might be saying, "Halt, you need to be 60 FPS." I'm going, what the F does that mean? You never know. You never know.
Well, Holtz, y'all, that's why he does not want his VR experience to have that, because he will have the heart attack. Which I don't know. Some would say that is a good way to go, Holtz. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Some would say. I mean, if you had to go, y'all, would you want to go? I mean, this is obviously an adult-only stream. Would you want to go if you knew you had to go, like dying? That is, would you want to die in the middle of having sex? I mean, that's a consequential question.
Here's the question that I've got. Here's the question that I've got to chat then. If you died in VR, would you want to be buried with your VR headset, so the open casket, and you just walk past and go, look, he's also got the VR heads. We didn't want to take it off just in case we find out what he was watching. So just put him in the casket. You know what I mean?
You took it a second. You took it a little bit further there.
I'm just trying to say. I know a lot of people probably get buried with their stuff. So why keep the headset on?
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Don't
goodness.
even touch the haptic suits that Purple's talking about. Just throw it in.
Nah, I'm telling you. You maybe not need an active suit. I'm just saying the haptic suit. You just need like an accessory. Like they just need to create that. I'm telling you, it would take off. I'm not saying that games won't follow and so forth. I'm just saying if you want VR to take off, that's what you need. And then what you need to do is you need to sell it to
Well,
nursery
need-
or nursing homes.
I know
Do that, you're
we all
good.
like them. We all like him, and I know you want to get him on the Shades of Purple, but you definitely need to get Mr. Urban World, and he could tell you some fun stories of VR because
So
once I've listened to them, they've been really amazing. So you definitely need to. He was there in
we
chat
tell them to come. So I need Mr. Urban World. We need Miss Phoenix.
with their Purple. You want him to come? I can't
Nucci.
tell him that. You tell him that.
We got Joe coming up. We got ISO coming up. We got a lot of interviews coming up, y'all, if you haven't heard it. But with that, Holt, any last words as I shut this one down?
Yeah, everyone get on board Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and we can all happy.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Or Final Fantasy
is.
17
I mean-
if you listen to me.
I mean, all I want to say is this year is starting up. I really loved not Yakuza, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, which is an RPG, and that's an amazing story. I heard Rue Mamba say it's one of the most amazing games he's ever played, which really hypes me to finish it. And I know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be amazing. And of course, we've got Persona 3, which is RPG. So I'm really hyped for the Game of the Year awards for the accolades of RPG because it's going to be fight talking. So
Oh my, well, y'all, you heard it. A few weeks ago, I said 2023 was going to be super hard to beat. I think 2024 won't beat it, but it's going to come close. And as I said before, let me know if you want to talk Game Gear stuff because I'm super excited. I've been playing this. I found this recently here at my house with all my other Game Gear stuff. And for everybody else or anyone else, tomorrow, March 1st, No Rest for the Wicked. They're going to do a deep dive of the game. I'm super excited for it. If you like Dory, you like Moon Studios, you like art styles and just stuff that's really creative, this development team, this studio really has put a lot into it, just like every game studio. But that's what I'll be watching tomorrow. Yeah. But with that said, you can find me this Sunday playing Fall Guys. If you want to join that stream, thank you to everybody who comes by and joins and plays with us. It's super fun. And now I'll say, it doesn't matter where you game, how you game, why you game, what you game on. As long as you're gaming, you're good with me. And as always, yes, Rouster, it's on YouTube. If you go look up No Rest for the Wicked, it'll be on YouTube. And as always, this is Purple Haze. And the proof is in the plane. All right, thank you all. I know a lot of you stayed up super late, past your bedtimes. It's been super cool to hang with everybody. And thanks for everybody for coming on through. Rants and all. Thank you again. All right, later.